Yo, 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 what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shout out to everybody who is in the room. It's good to see you guys. If you guys can hear me okay, please give me a thumbs up or radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face. I'm going to shout out everybody who is in the building early. We got Brooklyn Queen. Shout out to you, Brooklyn Queen. We got Keith Evans in the building. Shout out to Cameron Jones. John Guillory is in the house. We got my man DSB. Make sure y'all show some love. Throw some flames, radiation emoji in the chat for DSB for 13 months of membership support. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. Make sure y'all show him some love in the chat. 5 months of membership support. Appreciate it, bro. Shout out to my man DSB. Make sure y'all show him some love with the $1.99 super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen with the 11 months of membership support. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to DSB. DSB making it rain already with the $3 super chat. Shout out to DSB. Make sure y'all show him some love. All right. Who else we got up in here? We got Extent in the building. Shout out to Extent. We got DC Precise. Shout out to you, DC Precise. It's good to see all y'all. We about to have a good stream. We about to talk about some good stuff. Some good stuff. All right. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is this price prediction. We got the halving coming up, and there's a price prediction that says that Bitcoin is headed to 150K. So like the good thing about Bitcoin that you always see is because the price is always, for the most part, increasing over time. People always are skeptical about a quote unquote time to get in. In my opinion, if you're, and again, this isn't financial advice, but if you're looking to get into cryptocurrency, if you're getting in for the long game, in my opinion, in the long term, there's really never a bad time to get in. The only time there's really a quote unquote bad time to get in is if you're doing short term trading. Of course, the earlier the better, because if people had got in, could you imagine if you had got in, you know what I'm saying, when Bitcoin was only double digit prices, $10, $15, $20, would have been ridiculous. None of us would be here right now. None of us would be here right now. You know what I'm saying? So this is an article from Decrypt, and it says Bitcoin is headed for 150K, say Bernstein analysts. All right. So my question for you guys in the chat is, what do you think at the current price the pathway for Bitcoin to get to 100K would be? And what is the likelihood of a 100K Bitcoin? Shout out to my man, Win Loser Rug. What's good with it, bro? Good to have you in here. So now here it says, Alliance Bernstein says these are still early days and that the already massive inflows point to a coming surge in price. So what they're saying is that there's going to be a surge in price beyond what we're seeing right now. Okay. Which is, I mean, that's extremely hard to imagine. You know what I'm saying? That is extremely hard to imagine. Fresh off a new all-time high price, Bitcoin is on its way to $150,000 per coin, according to global investment firm Alliance Bernstein. Now, here's my question for you guys. How many of you all think that that's likely? If you guys think that that's likely, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you guys do not think that that's likely, give me a thumbs down and let me know why. All right. In a Monday note, the firm said that the sheer volume of cash flooding into newly approved exchange-traded funds will ensure the value of Bitcoin will continue to rise. So all of that influx that we saw of all of those billions of dollars into those ETFs over the last week or two or three, they're saying that those will be the initial events that push the price to these 150K prices. Okay. The firm predicted last year, okay, that Bitcoin would hit 150,000 by 2025. Now it believes hitting that milestone is even more likely. So they believe now that it's even more likely for Bitcoin to hit 150K. Okay. The price of Bitcoin set an all-time new high this morning. Well, and this is an old article, so it's even been higher than that. I think it hit a 52-week high yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. If somebody could correct me in the comments, let me know. The price of Bitcoin set a new all-time high this morning, crossing the 72,000 per coin mark. Okay. The price of Bitcoin is now 72,133, according to data from CoinGecko. Okay. These are still early days of Bitcoin's integration into traditional asset portfolios. The note by Guantam Chingoni and Mihika Sepra read, "We are now more convinced about our 150,000 price for Bitcoin." All right. And here's a chart starting from February 19th to March 11th. Okay. And this must be a live chart because it goes to March 13th. On March 13th, the price was 73,209. Does anybody know what the current price is? I bet you the current price is at the top of the page. I could probably scroll up and see what the current price is. Let's take a look actually. So where are we at? Let me see. Of course, because we want to see the price, it's probably way at the end. It's probably way at the end. Basic attention coin. Everything looks like it's up. But a lot of times when the altcoins are up, Bitcoin and Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and some of those other ones, they can go down. So if anybody got a price for right now, let me know what you guys got, and we'll probably see one on the next article. Okay, shout out to Extent. Make sure y'all show Extent some love. Throw some radiation emojis, some flames in the chat for Extent. 73,400. All right. So I mean, again, it's still going up. It's still going up. We're almost at the point where it'll be at 75,000. And I think that once we get to 75,000, 150K for the most part is inevitable. What do you guys think? So now here it says we estimated $10 billion of inflow for 2024 and another 60 billion for 2025, they continued. In the last 40 trading days since the ETF launch on January 10th, Bitcoin ETF inflows have crossed 9.5 billion already. All right. And so remember, the estimated inflow for 2024, they had only estimated $10 billion of cash inflows. It's already been 9.5. It's already been 9.5. You know what I'm saying? The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission approved 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs in January, following a decade of attempts by high-profile firms. They have been massively successful, with hundreds of millions of dollars hitting the funds every day. Hundreds of millions of dollars hitting the funds every day. Hundreds of millions hitting the funds every day. What do you guys think is going to be going on this year by Christmas? That's my question for you guys. What do you guys think is going to be going on this year by Christmas? What's your wallet going to look like by Christmas? The Bitcoin ETFs are now trading on stock exchanges, are allowing investors to buy the digital asset through their brokerage accounts without having to worry about the storage of the asset. Bernstein went on to argue that IRAs, private banks, and traditional pools of capital, such as sovereigns, don't yet have exposure via EFTs. When they do, the value of the asset can only continue to go up. Another good way for investors to see good returns is by buying Bitcoin mining stocks, the firm added. So now here's my question. How many people know about Bitcoin mining stocks? If you guys know about Bitcoin mining stocks, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, then give me a thumbs down, and we'll take a look. And if I've come across some information about some Bitcoin mining stocks, we'll definitely go over it. All right. So I showed this article yesterday on the stream that we did where we were talking about Haiti, but now we're actually going to go into it. All right. As of right now, this is what's going on in El Salvador. All right. This right here is what's going on in El Salvador. El Salvador is sitting on $84 million in profit from Bitcoin holdings. Okay. El Salvador is sitting on $84 million from its Bitcoin holdings. President Nayib Bukele said in an X post that the Central American nation is earning Bitcoin revenue from 4 different avenues. Now, let me ask you guys this. When do you all think that the United States will wise up and possibly do something like this to stabilize its economy? Because could you imagine, like, the gold standard is gone, but there's a possibility now that a lot of these new economies can start doing a cryptocurrency or a digital currency based currency, a digital currency based asset backing for their economy, basing it on a portfolio of assets, maybe gold, maybe a little bit of a percentage of Bitcoin or Ethereum. That probably would do wonders to stabilize things, don't you think? 84 million is not bad at all. Okay. So now here says El Salvador's Bitcoin treasury is sitting on $84 million in unrealized profits on the holdings it first started acquiring in September of 2021. Bitcoin's 250% rise over the past year has catapulted the Central American nation's Bitcoin treasury to over $206 million as of Tuesday, as a 69% gain on initial capital holds this far. So, we got to ask the question when they start listing off these percentages, we got to ask this question. How many people have assets outside of cryptocurrency that have provided them with a 69% gain on investment? If anybody has, give me a thumbs up. If you guys have not, then give me a thumbs down. And real quick, shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys wherever you're watching from. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit the bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media. All right. It holds 2,681 Bitcoin, data shows, acquired over 12 separate purchases at an average cost of $42,600. So they have 12 Bitcoins, right? And they bought these 12 Bitcoin at an average of $42,600. As of right now, at a $73,000 price, for the most part, we can estimate and say that they gained $30,000 on each Bitcoin that they have. That's not bad profits, is it? That's not bad profits. Now, imagine if those 12 Bitcoins that they have, calculate this in your head. If those 12 Bitcoins that they have increase to 150,000, like we saw in that last article. Could you imagine? They're gonna have a lot of money to work with down there. You know what I'm saying? In 2021, Bitcoin went on equal footing with the US dollar in El Salvador after a historic Bitcoin law first made it the first country to recognize Bitcoin as a legal tender. Since then, goods, services, and taxes can all be paid for in Bitcoin. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Do you see other countries adopting those same type of monetary policies? Could you imagine in 10, 15 years, there's going to be a topic called digital currency policy that's going to be something that's completely different than anything that we've ever seen before. Yeah, I gotta agree. If you guys agree with DC Precise, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with DC Precise, give me a thumbs down. DC Precise says the commodities basket would be good money backing. I agree. I agree. That would help stabilize a lot of the fiat currency. And honestly, that could positively affect a lot of exchange rates by stabilizing them, making them less volatile. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my man AB Promotions. AB Promotions said bricks. How many people knew that BRICS is working on their own digital currency? They're working on their own blockchain. If you guys were aware of that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys weren't, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says, as such, President Nayib Bukele indicated in the Thursday Post that the nation is earning even more Bitcoin in the form of revenue from other services. These include revenue from a citizenship passport program, which converts Bitcoin to US dollars for local businesses, Bitcoin mining, and revenue from government services. Look at this. This is El Salvador's Bitcoin profits. El Salvador is now $83 million in profit from their Bitcoin investment strategy. Looks like 204,882,406 is what they currently are holding as of right now. That's wild. So now here it says the country introduced its Freedom Visa in December, doling out residency to a maximum of 1,000 people per year who invest at least $1 million worth of Bitcoin or Tether stablecoins. Successful applicants receive long-term residency permits and have a path to full citizenship as reported. Now you see what you guys now look at the policy that El Salvador is using for their citizenship based on assets, based on cryptocurrency. The country introduced its Freedom Visa in December, doling out residency to a maximum of 1,000 people per year who invest in at least $1 million worth of Bitcoin or Tether stablecoins. That's looking a lot different than the United States citizenship pathways and citizenship policies, isn't it? Successful applicants receive long-term residency permits and have a path to full citizenship as reported. All right. So they letting you into the country based on your Bitcoin investment and Bitcoin holdings. Not like the United States, how the United States lets people into the country based on how easy they can find a crack in the wall. You know what I'm saying? Or how easy they could evade U.S. Customs Services. You know what I'm saying? It makes a lot more sense to take people in based on if they got money or not. You know what I'm saying? The United States hustling backwards like they always do. So we got this article here from the Block, and the Block is saying London stock exchanges are now starting to accept Bitcoin, Ethereum, and ETN applications in Q2. Now, let me ask you guys this. What's that going to do to the price and demand of Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency? Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum. Right, exactly. AB Promotion says government's using crypto, but it's a scam. Right. You know, the people that think that Bitcoin is a scam, they're going to get left behind like the people that didn't think their credit cards would ever take off. There's a whole group of people. There's still groups of people today that just were just frightened and scared and just didn't want to use credit cards at all. And now credit cards are just a daily thing. Imagine when it gets to the point to where you can use Apple Pay with blockchain and you can just go into a store and use your wallet on your phone, or either you have a cold wallet that you bring with you and you could just swipe that at the gas station or something like that. Those days are coming, and they're coming extremely quick. And once they get here, the price of cryptocurrency is going to be unbelievable. Okay. So now here it says the London Stock Exchange announced Monday that it will start accepting applications for the admission of Bitcoin and other crypto exchange traded notes in the second quarter of this year. The LSE said in the statement that it will take applications following a fact sheet previously published. The exact launch date will be confirmed in due course, the LSE said. So this is certain. Okay. In order to mitigate risk of delay in the admission timetable, the exchange encourages early engagement from prospective issuers interested in admitting crypto ETNs to trading on the exchange. The LSE added in the admissions fact sheet, the crypto ETNs would only be available for professional investors, according to the fact sheet. This comes as UK's Financial Conduct Authority stated that it will not oppose proposals from recognized investment exchanges to create a listed market segment for cryptocurrency-backed exchange-traded notes, ETNs. So do you guys see what's happening here? Large-scale market firms are making it where it's easier for people to be able to trade cryptocurrency. Shout out to Lewis Knowles. Yeah, I agree 100%. If you guys agree with win, lose, or rug, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with win, lose, or rug, give me a thumbs down. Win, lose, or rug said, claiming it's a scam is crazy. Just use discernment if you have any. Facts. Facts. Cryptocurrency is just like any other form of currency. People can use it to be a vehicle for a scam, but its existence in itself is not a scam. There's too much evidence out now that shows that cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in particular, is not a scam. And anybody that's saying that it is a scam, they're literally saying misinformation. That's you're looking at literal misinformation in that case. You know what I'm saying? How many people know what ETNs are? We're going to talk about what those are. ETNs are debt securities that provide exposure to an underlying asset, according to the document. Crypto ETNs allow investors to trade securities that track crypto assets on the exchange during London trading hours. The LSE's move comes after the U.S. spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds have gained popularity since its launch in January. On Friday, the cumulative trading volume for U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs surpassed $100 billion to reach $106.59 billion, according to Yahoo Finance data compiled by The Block. That's a lot of money. What's crazy about this is that this is a lot of money. This is more money than what's being exchanged in sports. This is more money than what's being exchanged in Hollywood. And yet and still there's more people talking about sports and more people talking about Hollywood. And the people that are talking about sports and the people that are talking about Hollywood are the people that yell at everybody else for paying attention to sports in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says the LSE's move comes after the U.S. spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds, ETFs, have gained popularity since its launch in January. On Friday, the cumulative trading volume for U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs surpassed $100 billion to reach $106.59 billion. That is wild. Let me ask you guys this question. What other asset class is gaining popularity and getting this much inflow of money this quickly? Is there anything out there? Is there anything comparable to this? So all the charts, they all look the same. Damn near vertical. You know what I'm saying? Timmy Shin. Oh, okay, you know what? Actually, that's the end of this article. My bad. So there's that. All right. So London Stock Exchange is going to start accepting Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other ETN. That's going to drive the price up of Bitcoin even more. So now, do you guys remember the company called MicroStrategy? Right. No, they don't have to. Facts, DC. They don't have to own the actual asset for the ETNs, which Not owning the actual asset could be a selling point for people that want to try to mitigate their risk because they're scared of holding actual Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? So do you guys remember the company MicroStrategy? If you guys remember the company MicroStrategy, let me know, and let me know what MicroStrategy did. Okay. All of the Bitcoin gains that MicroStrategy has earned, they have translated into a 14% increase in MicroStrategy's stock price. So, another interesting thing, right, that would be pretty smart to pay attention to get some proxy Bitcoin gains, right, would be if you pay attention to all of these companies that are adopting Bitcoin, that are trying to utilize their investment tools to integrate Bitcoin further into the market. It might not be a bad idea to look at those type of companies and possibly eye them for your portfolio in the future. Right, exactly. Exactly, John. That just got them some more money to get more Bitcoin in the future. You know what I'm saying? So now, again, we got to ask this question. We always got to ask this question. When it comes to making these moves with cryptocurrency, what companies on our end are making big moves like this to be able to gain a significant share of the market? Because if one thing that we want to do is try to dominate the economy, and we know that the economy is moving forward towards a digital economy slash blockchain backed economy market, there's a vulnerability there where we could gain at least some segment of the market share, right? So now my question is, what companies do we have that are making these moves? Shout out to DC Precise. DC Precise says Michael Saylor has been issuing company bonds to buy up hundreds of millions of dollars of Bitcoin. So is right now, so now the floodgates are open and it's on and popping. And now what's going on for the most part is that you see people are trying to stake their territory. You know what I'm saying? MicroStrategy stock soars 14% as Saylor buys more Bitcoin. The Monday spike has settled to a more modest 4% daily gain. But if you bought MicroStrategy back in 2020, you'd be up nearly 1,000%. So now when it comes to the stock market, right? When it comes to the stock market, companies that are working with cryptocurrency are probably the companies that are seeing the largest and most rapid gains. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree with that assessment, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with that assessment, then give me a thumbs down. Software company MicroStrategy stock is booming as the publicly listed firm continues to snap up Bitcoin at a rapid rate. So now my question for you guys is, how many people have looked into MicroStrategy as something that they might want to invest in? If you've looked into MicroStrategy, give me a thumbs up. If you have not looked into MicroStrategy, give me a thumbs down. And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all have not smashed that like button, please take a moment, smash the like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit the bell, and subscribe wherever you're watching from. And please share the stream to your social media. Okay. So now here says MicroStrategy, which trades on the NASDAQ under the ticker MSTR, was trading for as much as 1,610 per share on Monday. That's wild. You don't usually see stocks on the exchange trading at that high of a price. You know what I'm saying? That represented a raise of nearly 14% over the previous 24 hours, even though it has settled to 1,484% as of this writing, a more modest 4% one-day gain. The stock is still up 106% for the month. So now if you want to invest in the stock market, it's a pretty safe bet to say that a lot of these companies working with these Bitcoin investment vehicles is where you might be able to find some of those type of gains. That's where you might be able to find some of those type of gains. We're going to pay attention to those companies. More impressively, since the company started its Bitcoin strategy by putting the biggest Bitcoin on its balance sheet back in 2020, the price shot up by over 912%. So we got to always ask this question, right? What investments do people have that if they started investing back in 2020, they've increased by 912%? The highest it's ever been was back in 2000 when it was trading for 3,130, and that's wild. The spike came as the company announced today that it had bought even more Bitcoin and now holds more than any publicly traded company. At today's prices, its digital gold holdings stand at over 14.8 billion. Now, let me ask you guys a question. If this company MicroStrategy thought that it wasn't a bad idea to take a risk of $14.8 billion worth and hold on to it and utilize it as a major part of its investment strategy, that's something to take note of, right? That's something to pay very close attention to. With its Bitcoin stash exceeding 200,000, the acquisition leapfrogs MicroStrategy back over BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF, which holds 195,985 Bitcoin. Now, here goes my question for everybody. So, BlackRock is holding 195,985 Bitcoin. What is that in US dollars? What's the price of that in US dollars? How much is 195,985 Bitcoin in US dollars? That's a lot of money to think about. Bitcoin hit another all-time high today. The price of Bitcoin is now 72,201, and as we know, it's higher than that right now per CoinGecko data. MicroStrategy co-founder and chairman Michael Saylor told CNBC that Bitcoin's market cap would eventually eat gold and that buying the company's stock was a good way to get exposure to the asset. He added that the company was now a Bitcoin development company. So again, we got to ask, when it comes to this sector, what Bitcoin blockchain development companies do we have? What's stopping us from making one? Woo! Shout out to Cameron. Make sure y'all throw some flames, radiation emoji in the chat for Cameron. $14 billion. That's pretty damn significant. That's pretty significant. Bitcoin is a superior investment to gold, equities, bonds, and real estate because it's digital, he said today. Most other assets only trade for less than 20% of the time. The Bitcoin trading is 168 hours a week. Okay. The company, which analyzes data, first bought Bitcoin in August of 2020. According to Saylor, the idea was that shareholders would get better returns if the company held the digital coins instead of cash. Since then, it has continued to buy the asset in bulk. Other companies, most notably electric car giant Tesla, have followed suit. All right. So one thing that I think we should start doing is I think that we should start keeping track. When we talk about these streams, when we do these streams, we need to start keeping track of all of the companies that have Bitcoin holding or Bitcoin investing strategies, monitor their stock price, and put together some way of tracking their stock price and keeping an eye on them for, possible investment purposes. Because those companies, and if you ask me, are going to be the companies that have the most significant gains. Those companies are going to be gaining money way faster than blue chip stocks, way faster than New York Stock Exchange, traditional companies, unless traditional companies make the flip, right? Unless those companies make the flip and start using Bitcoin as one of their investment strategies as well. And if that occurs with those companies making the flip and using Bitcoin as one of their investment strategies, that's just going to be good for us. Any of this is going to be good for us because it's just going to increase the price. Anything that increases the price is good for us, especially if you're holding. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to check this out real quick because this is interesting. All right. Look at this right here. Record-breaking Bitcoin is minting more than 1,500 millionaire wallets per day as experts praise its staying power. What do you guys think about that statistic? Who do you think those millionaires are? You think they look like us? Y'all think those new millionaires look like us? Bitcoin is making people millionaires, is making 1,500 millionaire wallets a day. We could use more millionaires, right? DC Precise said unsustainable. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said maybe a couple, Rob. Yeah, maybe the couple that are in this chat. You guys agree? Maybe the couple that are in this chat, and that's probably about it. You know what I'm saying? Record-breaking Bitcoin is minting more than 1,500 millionaire wallets per day. So now let me ask you guys this question. If 1,500 millionaire wallets are being minted per day, how much money is being generated per day? That would be at the minimum a million, right? Times 1,500. So that would be 1,500 with 6 zeros after it, right? Shout out to my man Carlton Wade. What's good with it, bro? What is that number? What is the number 1,500 with an additional 6 zeros after it? Anybody know what that number is? 1,500 with 6 zeros after it with a dollar sign in front of it is how much money is being generated per day. There you go. Shout out to Cameron. 1.5 billion per day. Per day. Per day. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Bitcoin's rise in driving an uptick in crypto wallets hitting the $1 million mark. Keiko Research reports. The token's latest rally suggests that Bitcoin is more than a passing fad. Ruchir Sharma said, it's extremely unusual for a bubble to burst and then recover and reach new heights so quickly, he wrote in the Financial Times. Now, here's my question. Where are our analysts, our cryptocurrency analysts? Where are the cryptocurrency analysts that would be able to gear some content towards us? Where are those individuals? Let me ask you guys this question. Do we have any noteworthy FBA cryptocurrency analysts? If we do, let me know who they are. Oh man, that's bad. That's bad. Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said, you are the analyst. Man, that's bad. We got Win Loser Rug. Where Win Loser Rug at? We got to get Win Loser Rug to get his financial channel going. I can't be the analyst. You know what I'm saying? I can't be the analyst. Shout out to my man Lloyd Scott 9. What's good with it, bro? We gotta get Win Loser Rug on the job. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said they busy on Twitter talking about hairlines and stuff. Man, listen, hey, you know what? What if we make this here? This is how we can get people involved, y'all. Let's get people involved by creating a hairline repair business that accepts cryptocurrency. What do you guys think? If you guys are all about that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys are like, nah, that's not a good idea, give me a thumbs down. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Win Lose a Rug. Win Lose a Rug says so many black folks are just trying to get by, it seems. That's the majority of my circle. No, I feel that, bro. I'm the same way. I'm the same way, man. I try to do it marginal, you know what I'm saying? A little margin at a time. You know what I'm saying? Since 2017, though, with my small little savings, you know what I'm saying, dollar cost averaging that I've been doing, investing in Bitcoin and investing in Ethereum, it's done well. You know what I'm saying? I'm not catching up with no legacy, blue chip companies or no legacy, you know what I'm saying, plantation owners. You know what I'm saying? And, my cryptocurrency wallet ain't changing the racial wealth gap or anything. But like on a personal level, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely setting me up for a pretty good, you know, a pretty good bump in liquidity, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Lloyd Sky 9. Make sure you guys show Lloyd Sky 9 some love. Throw some flames and some radiation emoji in the chat. My man Lloyd Sky 9 has been a member for 13 months. I definitely appreciate it, bro. Brooklyn Queen said, hell to the nah. Shout out to Lloyd Sky 9. Lloyd Sky 9 said, great content as usual. Umar voice, more crypto. Facts. That's what we need, more crypto. Shout out to my man Mike Mellis Johns. What's good with it, bro? Big facts. Look at all this money that's being discussed and being thrown around. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin's latest rally to all-time highs is helping push over 1,500 wallets past the millionaire mark each day. See, this is what I'm talking about as far as strategy. We need to have FBA Bitcoin wallets that are becoming millionaires daily. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Right. I got to agree. Shout out to Win Lose a Rug. Once people see something, they start showing interest. Facts. And that to me is one of the reasons why it's so important to start showing people, getting people to see exposure to this. You know what I'm saying? Because when people start seeing how these legacy companies are just throwing billions of dollars in, then they have to say, hold on, wait a minute. I know I've seen the king of nothing. I'm gonna have to look more at his channel, Phil. Shout out to Phil, by the way. You gotta say, wait a minute, look at all of these companies that are building these huge gains that are throwing all of this money into crypto. I'm hearing one thing over here, but then I'm looking over here and I'm seeing something completely different. Now, let me ask you guys this question, right? Shout out to crypto is a scam, right? Now, this is my question. What do you all think that these massive gains in Bitcoin have done to the racial wealth gap? They've probably compiled onto widening the racial wealth gap in the same way that C19 made all those millionaires rich. Where's the study on that? Where's the study on what the recent cryptocurrency boom has done to the racial wealth gap? Let me ask you guys this. If there's a very small minority of us who are dealing with cryptocurrency and other people are, and they're getting and benefiting from these massive gains at compiling onto the already existing racial wealth gap, what is that doing to the racial wealth gap? And if you ask me, that's one of the reasons why a cryptocurrency investment strategy as a means of dealing with that is so important. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said widening it. Yeah, making it bigger. Yeah, I agree. If you guys agree that this right here is stretching that racial wealth gap out like Sukihana, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, then give me a thumbs down. If you don't look into ways of increasing your liquidity, you sounding like Sukihana over there in London. I want that wealth gap stretch. You know what I'm saying? I don't, but you know what I'm saying? If your financial behavior is like this, then that's what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? We should look at this Kaiko report. Bitcoin can't stop climbing. This is interesting. They got a nice analysis here. We gonna definitely look. We might not look at this today, but we gonna definitely look at it. Shout out to my man Law. What's good with it, bro? So now here it says so far this year, the trend peaked at 1,691 wallets on March 1st. Given the decentralized nature of crypto, it's difficult to determine the ownership details behind these addresses. And it's possible that multiple wallets belong to a single person or entity. Since the beginning of this month, Bitcoin has gained another 16%, extending a bull run that first kicked off in mid-January when regulators approved spot Bitcoin ETFs to begin trading in the US. Now, here goes my question. What activities do you all think in the future could kick off future bull runs? I think that that's one thing that people need to start doing, is that people should pay attention to the activities that create bull runs, understand what those activities are, and pay attention to market conditions so that people are able to predict, okay, I see that a bull run might start here, and then you can get in for a longer short-term gain. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says Bitcoin's newfound success may be indicative that the cryptocurrency is here to stay as a mainstream investment. Rockefeller International Chair Ruchir Sharma wrote for the Financial Times. Okay. I think that cryptocurrency has more longevity than people give it credit for. Cryptocurrency has already, like, for people that have been investing for a long time, we've been investing for a long time already. We already know that it has longevity. It's just it seems like what the issue is convincing other people who don't have as much understanding or as much exposure to it that it has staying power. But we all have stayed in cryptocurrency since 2017 and before. Shout out to Phil Mayo. Phil Mayo says Da Vinci Jeremy is also another great crypto analyst. Okay, bet. I'm gonna check them out. You know, one person that I've been watching for a long time is this guy. His name is The Modern Investor. He drops his videos early in the morning. Usually, a lot of times I watch The Modern Investor, and right after The Modern Investor, that's when Professor Black Truth drops his video in the morning. Those are like the two videos that I watch in the morning while I'm getting my stream set up. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, while the token's 2022 peak and crash may have validated crypto skeptics, its rapid rebound underlies a more solid investment thesis. I don't think that the peak and crash validated crypto skeptics. I don't think that it validated crypto skeptics at all. Yeah, Modern Investor is great, and he's been around for a long time too. Modern Investor been around for a long time. I'm one of the old school crypto people, bro. Like, I was watching crypto back when, like, Ivan on Tech and all them lost their channels. Do y'all remember that when YouTube just wiped all the cryptocurrency channels? Like Ivan on Tech, his channel was gone. Like, everybody lost their channel. I appreciate that, Lois Guy 9. Yeah, I've been watching him for a long time, The Modern Investor. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, back in 2021, Bitcoin was often grouped alongside other favorites of the day trading crowd, such as unprofitable tech and meme stocks. Today, those other bubblets are trading on average at half their peaks, while Bitcoin recently hit an all-time high, Sharma wrote. It is extremely unusual for a bubble to burst and then recover to reach new heights so quickly, and suggesting that something real and sustainable is going on. Now, let me ask you guys this question. As far as the peaks and valleys of cryptocurrency, do you all think that that's just a behavior pattern that's inherent to cryptocurrency, and that's just part of the cryptocurrency valuation behavior? And that's just something that people that deal with cryptocurrency will have to get used to, calculate in time. If you ask me, I think that that just comes with the territory. Like if you decide to become a boxer, a head injury is something that just comes with the territory. I think that volatility when it comes to cryptocurrency just is part of the territory. So as long as you understand how to mitigate and navigate the volatility, as long as it doesn't scare you, as long as you got a solid investment strategy, and as long as you can pay close attention to the market, as long as you can pay close attention to the market behaviors, master them, and invest strategically, I don't think that people should be intimidated by the peaks and valleys of cryptocurrency. The reason why I don't believe that people should be intimidated by the peaks and valleys of cryptocurrency is because if you ask me, cryptocurrency is digital. Anything that's digital for the most part moves at close to light speed. So honestly, what we're seeing with cryptocurrency is not actually peaks and valleys. What it is like long-term stocks. And if you shrunk the chart three-dimensionally, if you shrunk a long-term chart, that long-term chart is going to look like a regular chart of cryptocurrency. And that's because cryptocurrency is cycling faster than a regular stock. Like to make a comparison, cryptocurrency is digital. You know what I'm saying? NASDAQ and Wall Street are analog. So if you're moving at light speed, everything is going to be faster and it's going to look like these peaks and valleys are occurring quicker. It's just like high frequency light versus low frequency light. There's going to be more peaks and valleys per integer than there would be for a slower cycle. Would you guys agree? So what when people see, oh my goodness, is a peak here, valley there, peak here, valley there. What you got to understand is that's compressed time because you're dealing with asset movement that's moving faster. If you stretched it out, it would probably look the same. You know what I'm saying? It's like imagine like you have how many people know about redshift and how like the light from distant objects in outer space, as the object distance is further, the wavelength, you know what I'm saying? The wavelength stretches out so it makes the light appear red, but when you get closer to the object and the wavelength isn't stretched out, it could actually be more blue. You know what I'm saying? How many people know about redshift and how that works? It's when it comes to cryptocurrency. If you ask me, cryptocurrency would be like, instead of financial redshift, it's financial blue shift. You know what I'm saying? Because, and like Carlton is saying, you can also trade crypto day and night, which also backs up my strategy or backs up my assessment of accelerated cycling, because the amount of trades that can occur for cryptocurrency in a 24-hour period is far more trades that can occur for a traditional exchange traded asset. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Phil. Phil got a great question. Phil says, my question is, what will be the long-term effects of AI on mining and the price of cryptocurrency? Now, here's what I think, right? I believe that mining, for the most part, is becoming outdated. And I don't know how mining could help cryptocurrency other than I don't know how AI could help mining other than by creating some type of algorithms where energy utilization is at its cheapest and at its most efficient to process the most Bitcoin blocks. That's the only thing that I could think of as far as how AI would be able to help. You know what I'm saying? However, I do believe that AI can create a more efficient validation for staking, proof of stake type assets. You know what I'm saying? And so I believe that AI has more of a chance and more of a future to be able to make proof of staking more efficient than it has to make mining more efficient, because technically mining, for the most part, it's not outdated, but it mining for the most part is like mining for the most part is like a train, and proof of stake is like a car. Trains aren't outdated, but they kind of are. You know what I'm saying? You can still transport stuff with a train, and you can still travel with a train, but it's not outdated, but like it actually is. It's not utilized like how it used to be. That's how mining is, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Proof of stake is more like automobiles and planes, which automobiles and planes are practical, and they're what's being used in the now. If that makes sense. If that makes sense and you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And it's perfectly okay if you disagree. Like, again, you know what I'm saying? This ain't an echo chamber. If y'all disagree, that's perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Win Loser Rug. Make sure y'all show Win Loser Rug some love. Throw some flames, radiation emoji in the chat for my man Win Loser Rug with the $9.99 super chat. Win Loser Rug said, also greed and fear are two big factors when it comes to investing that aren't talked about. Facts. Your relationship with money is something to be aware of. Facts. That is investor psychology. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Yeah, and I gotta agree again with Win Loser Rug. Win Loser Rug said the best high yield savings account is like 5%. Right. Look at what you're getting with cryptocurrency for the most part in one day. If you buy at a dip, you know what I'm saying? Buying at the dip is important. And see, another thing that I told people was like if you've been in cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency is very different from regular investing. Since most people that are in cryptocurrency are about holding, most cryptocurrency investors are not most stock people, because stock people are looking to sell, are happy when they see a boom in the stock market. Cryptocurrency investors kind of get irritated when there's a boom in the stock market because we can't buy and hold. We're actually looking for the market to crash. It's more appealing for a cryptocurrency investor for us to experience a crash than it is for us to experience a boom. Like right now, this pauses everything. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man TD Hip Hop, TD Media Group. What's good with it, bro? Like right now, we're on ice. Like it's great, you know what I'm saying? Like we talking about our wallets and all that, but it's like, man, can we get back down to like 50, 60,000, please? So that we can buy more? We're not looking for the big investors, like these big companies with the ETFs and all that. They're the ones looking for the gains, so they can market that to their portfolio buyers. But us individual investors, we're not looking for this. We want to crash. Shit, I want Bitcoin to go back to 1,500 again. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for no booms. Because the thing is that if you're looking at percentage gains, the price don't matter. What matters is what you've gained from purchase to sale. The price is not, it is important for affordability purposes and stuff like that, but what you're looking for is the percentage gain. So if Bitcoin crashed down to 1,500 tomorrow, man, I'm scooping mad Bitcoin up. And then if it goes back up to 10,000, I'm still in a better position than I was before because of the percentage increase. And that's another element of the cryptocurrency market, cryptocurrency investment strategy that like most traditional people don't really understand. All of the strategies and all of the indicators are not the same. Like we're kind of tired of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, it's nice. Like, the only thing that we're looking for this 73,000 for is bragging rights. Like, we told you. Now you can go ahead and get back down to, you know what I'm saying, 50, 60, 50, you know what I'm saying, 40, so we can start scooping up again. So that we could, you know what I'm saying, cash out a little bit at Christmas when it goes up like it always does traditionally. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man TD Media Group. TD Media Group says, at what price would you consider selling some of your Bitcoin? If you ask me, that selling threshold, that would be something on everybody's individual basis based on your investment or holding strategy. And also depending on what you want, because like me, I'll sell off some Bitcoin. A lot of times what I do is if I sell off some Bitcoin, I'll sell it off, but I'll immediately buy another asset with it. So I'll either buy like a altcoin, you know what I'm saying, or I'll buy like some gold or some silver for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Which, don't forget, gold just recently had a high as well. You know what I'm saying? But it depends on what you're looking to do. If you have a minimum amount that you want to hold, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of those things are factors that I would consider. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of depends. It kind of depends on your investment strategy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Win Loser Rug. Win Loser Rug said 100K Bitcoin go full defensive. Yeah, facts. I agree. And cash is a position too. Big facts. It increases the liquidity. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So now here says Sharma noted that around 70% of Bitcoin accounts are dormant, meaning that investors are buying to hold a token. See, they literally just said the same thing that I said, because it's a different paradigm with cryptocurrency. You know what I'm saying? And I'm definitely HODL. You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all are HODL gang? If you HODL gang, give me a hashtag HODL in the chat. I'm HODL gang. I'm not trying to sell nothing. You know what I'm saying? If I do anything, you know what I'm saying, it'll be like some interest or some staking revenue that I earned that I might sell off. But I'm my base, like my actual cryptocurrency, my whole coins, them bad boys ain't going nowhere. Them bad boys ain't going nowhere. What movie was that where old boy was like, we ain't going nowhere? That's how my crypto is. It ain't going nowhere. Meanwhile, rising institutional engagement is set to take the ETF market from 50 billion to 300 billion by 2025. Now, a $9.5 billion increase, you saw the effect that had on the cryptocurrency market, right? The $9.5 billion that flooded into the ETF market increased cryptocurrency to what we're seeing right now, which is basically from about 40,000 to about 70,000. What do you all think that a $300 billion ETF market will do to the price? That'll put it right at that 150,000, if you ask me. And I gotta agree with Keith Evans. We ain't never seeing those four-digit Bitcoin prices again. Those are extinct. That's good luck with that. Good luck with that. You know what I'm saying? If the ETF market goes to 300 billion, what do you all see the Bitcoin price at? So now here it says froth is a feature of any runaway bull market, but for now, the so-called fanatics, not the skeptics, who have good reason to celebrate, Sharma wrote. Still, the latest rally isn't boosting the value of wallets as it did in 2022, when over 4,000 wallet addresses reached the $1 million threshold each day. Wow. Again, got to ask this question. Let's go back in time. In 2022, 4,000 wallet addresses reached the $1 million threshold per day. What do you guys think that did to the racial wealth gap? That's why, if you ask me, this is so important to pay attention to. According to Keiko, that may be as the inflow of new capital has not yet come in with full force, or the fact that long-term Bitcoin holders are selling as the token rises. It's also likely that more investors are storing crypto outside of digital wallets. This time around, whales could be taking more cautious approaches, waiting to see if the gains have legs before investing, the report says. Now, what's so funny is that a lot of these magazines, you know what I'm saying, a lot of these analysis places like Market Insiders, what's going on is they're using old investment strategies and using old rules to try to analyze cryptocurrency behavior. And I think that's one of the reasons why they can't figure this stuff out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to TD Hip Hop Media. TD Hip Hop Media said, and it's an expansion that isn't accounted for. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. It's not tracked and it's not accounted for, but it's there and it's happening. So again, we got to ask this question with this recent bump in Bitcoin price. What do you think that did to the racial wealth gap? Micro strategy. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you that these recent bumps in cryptocurrency have blown the racial wealth gap open, just like how the influx of money into the billionaires blew the racial wealth gap open during C19. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys being in here. If you guys have not hit the bell and subscribe to the channel yet, please take a moment, hit the bell, subscribe to the channel. Also, if you guys haven't hit the like button, please take a moment, hit the like button, and wherever you're watching from, please share the stream to your social media. So now there's a new and interesting price prediction out there, and it's an opinion. And this individual believes that $1 million Bitcoin is coming. Shout out to Tia. What's good with it, Tia? How many of you all think that it's possible that Bitcoin could at some point reach $1 million? If you think that that's a possibility, a likely possibility, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. And let me know the time frame that you think it would take for Bitcoin to become $1 million value, and what events in the market would create those conditions. I think that if like $1 trillion goes into ETFs, like something like this is possible, but who knows if that'll happen. If country, you know, if this becomes a large investment vehicle for a new world currency system, now we're talking tremendous amounts of money, and the likelihood of that happening is extremely likely. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to my man Phil Mayo with the $10 super chat. Make sure y'all show him some love, throw some flames, some radiation emoji in the chat for Phil. Definitely appreciate it, bro. So now here it says, if purchases by MicroStrategy and Tesla can send Bitcoin rocketing, what can happen if bigger players start entering the market? And so we're only talking about companies. Imagine what happens when entire economies start using these things to back their currency, like what we got going on down there in El Salvador. What if countries start using like 5% or 4% of their GDP as a currency stabilization measure to pin their currency to Bitcoin? Once you start getting percentage GDP investments into stuff like that, the inflow of money raises astronomically. You know what I'm saying? So it says, if purchases by MicroStrategy and Tesla can send Bitcoin rocketing, what happens when bigger players start entering the market? Now, let me ask you guys this question. Who would be bigger players that would be entering the market? What would you all consider, quote unquote, bigger players? Me, when I think of quote unquote bigger players, I'm thinking of like countries. I'm thinking of like GDPs. Like, what if BRICS decides to use Bitcoin to stabilize their currency? Or what if the EU tries to do some turnaround to try to stabilize the euro and say, we're going to pin the euro to a percentage of Bitcoin or something like that? When you have when that kind of thing occurs, that's massive amounts of money. Imagine like if China decided to do something like that. Now you got massive inflows of money coming in. You know what I'm saying? So according to this opinion piece, it says Bitcoin is officially mainstream. By the end of the latest mega bull market in 2017, most of the world had heard of Bitcoin. But after Tesla, all right, Tesla recently purchased $1.5 billion in Bitcoin for its corporate treasury and not for a speculative research and development sleeve. Those still thinking Bitcoin was a fad exposed themselves woefully as underinformed. Okay, I agree with that. Anybody that's still doubting Bitcoin at this point is exposing themselves. I agree with this assessment. Tesla's purchase underpins something even more dramatic than mainstream Bitcoin as a legitimate cash replacement for the world's largest corporate, financial, and government institutions. These sudden influxes in demand include a handful of recent bond issuance fueled purchases by MicroStrategy are having an extreme impact on the Bitcoin price. I believe we'll see the price of Bitcoin above $1 million sooner than most people can fathom. I understand that $50,000 is already slightly discombobulating to the investment community at large, but that Bitcoin price is only associated with $1 trillion of total market value in a world of hundreds of trillions of dollars in global wealth. And when you look at it like that, when you change the scale of how you look at it, I agree, it becomes easy. See, when it comes to crypto, when it comes to fiat currency and traditional measures of currency, we're talking about moving in miles. When we're talking about Bitcoin, we're talking about moving in light years. If you ask me, any Bitcoin assessment has to utilize completely different measurements of peaks and valleys than traditional assets because of the large amounts of increases, the amounts of how large those increases are, and the large amounts of decreases and how large those decreases are. This is a completely different scale. This is like going from a micro scale to a macro scale, from an atomic scale to a micro scale to a macro scale. You can't use the same type of measurements. Different laws of physics apply. It's the same thing with this Bitcoin. Different laws of physics, different laws of investments should apply for Bitcoin because of the behavioral changes, size fluctuations. It's not the same. You can't use general relativity to measure particles. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, using regular investment measurements to measure Bitcoin is not practical. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says if Bitcoin's market value reaches the size of the US Treasury market, for example, its price would reach 1.5 trillion. It's easy to predict $1 million Bitcoin given a long enough time horizon, considering the pace of cryptocurrency adoption across industries and the willingness of governments and central banks to provide unlimited amounts of fiscal and monetary stimulus. But when faced with the math of how much 3.5 billion in Bitcoin demand, Tesla with 1.5 billion and MicroStrategy with 2 billion caused its price to move, then the approximations led me to some staggering numbers. And see, this is somebody that applied cryptocurrency rules to cryptocurrency. All of these underperforming estimates are people applying old school models to cryptocurrency. And like I said, that doesn't make sense. That's like trying to measure particles and light speed by using inches, miles, kilometers. That doesn't make sense. You got to use general relativity. You got to use light speed. You got to use quantum theory. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, keep in mind that this existence is far from scientific. The price of Bitcoin has basically tripled since MicroStrategy's first public announced debt issuance in December. While the company has been purchasing Bitcoin since August, it accelerated its buy program, then by raising capital via the corporate bond market, aiming to bolster its Bitcoin treasury holdings. MicroStrategy US dollar bond issuance has become regulatory ever since. Quantifying exactly how much of the price explosion since December was caused directly by Michael Saylor or Elon Musk is impossible, but it's fun to guess. And honestly, I don't think it's impossible. I think if you tracked it enough, you definitely be able to definitely be able to see how much anytime they make any comments or movements on this stuff, the percentage increase that the cryptocurrency changes. I think that's very doable. During the weeks that Saylor and Musk purchased at least $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, its price increased by several $1,000s. All right. We know that the entire price move during those weeks cannot be solely attributed to these technology giants. After some rough calculations and a hefty discount, I believe that a $1 billion Bitcoin purchase resulted in at least a $25 billion increase in its total market value, or about $1,300 per Bitcoin. I'm saying the 3.5 billion purchased by MicroStrategy and Tesla over the past 3 months directly increased the Bitcoin price by 5,000 of the $30,000 total increase over the time. Maybe the actual contribution is more or less than that, but that's a guess with which I'll extrapolate. Okay. And I bet you if we sat down and looked at the numbers and regressed this, we could get an even more accurate number than that. And right now, look at the Bitcoin price is $73,100. $73,100. Okay. Bitcoin's powerful role in today's society as a non-government, counterparty-free first layer money is apparent and marketably pronounced from 2021. In my book, Layered Money: From Gold and Dollars to Bitcoin, and shout out to my man TD Media Group, Central Bank Digital Currencies, I make the argument that Bitcoin will anchor the financial system in the future. And see, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing. And if Bitcoin doesn't anchor the financial system in the future, it will be some form of blockchain, digital based gold replicant, or some type of digital precious metal replicant, or some type of metaverse asset that will back the future digital currency. It might not be Bitcoin, but it's going to be something like that. It's going to be something like that. In a world that's information based, it makes sense for actual information to be the currency. That makes sense. Anybody that doesn't see how that makes sense, you're living in the past. You have not progressed to the current era of the world we're living in. And the world we're living in does not move at slow pace anymore. The world that we are living in moves extremely fast paced. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, but I fail to speculate on a Bitcoin market value significantly higher than that of gold at 10 trillion, equating to a Bitcoin price of $500,000. In retrospect, this was way too bearish given the information that we gained from the market during February. Let's say that out of the $100 trillion worth of wealth in each of these following vehicles: real estate, public securities, which will be stocks and bonds, monetary instruments, government debt, bank deposits, money market funds, Bitcoin manages to eke out a meagerly $1 trillion in new demand. Now, since they gave us some numbers, let's ask the numbers questions. Out of this $100 trillion worth of possible wealth, how much of that do you think is held by us? What percentage? Give me a good percentage guess. And now here goes my question. In order to be powerful, in order to have influence, in order to have power, out of this $100 trillion worth of wealth, what percentage of this do you need to hold in your group's possession? Y'all in the decimals, huh? Cameron said thousands, 10 to the negative 1,000. Damn. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea for people to come together to create a plan to change those numbers. Put together target wealth market share. And I gotta agree. Shout out to Win Loser Rug. Win Loser Rug said the amount that we hold is probably at 0 and decreasing by like 100. You know what I'm saying? Million per day. We got to change that. Would you guys agree that that has to change? Damn, Carlton said the percentage of wealth that we own is about the value of Shiba Inu, one coin. One Shiba Inu coin. Man, that's crazy. It's not good. So like that's like the entire inside the entire universe, right? If the entire universe was representative of that $100 trillion wealth, the entire universe, our percentage of wealth that we own is the size of a piece of salt. That's not good. Yeah, I gotta agree. Shout out to Win Loser Rug. Win Loser Rug said we have to do something or work for the people who did, which is the current situation. You know what I'm saying? See, like these are things that people need to actually think about. Do you feel comfortable with that? How many people feel comfortable that with a possible wealth of the entire universe, what we own is about the size of a piece of salt? The entire universe. Imagine that. The universe is the container of all the possible wealth, and what we own is a piece of salt. Now, people might say that that's an impossible condition, right? But if you understand how the universe works, a piece of salt under the right conditions could cause a reaction that's big enough to change the fundamental composition of the universe. You know what I'm saying? Based on strong nuclear force, quantum theory, kinetic energy. You know what I'm saying? It could, but in just like in any situation, the right elements have to come together. Now, whether those right elements come together, you got to understand that there's probably mechanisms outside working to try to prevent those elements from coming together. You know what I'm saying? So, in any situation, it's about what people want to do because anything is possible. So, you know what I'm saying? If people want to make this occur, then they can. If people just want to sit there and say that it's impossible, then it'll be impossible because there'll be no attempts. Right? Shout out to Carlton Wait. Right, exactly. Carlton Wait says even a black hole starts off small. Facts. Shout out to Win Loser Rug. Win Loser Rug said this is usually a point where some simp starts beating his chest. We gonna be all right, bro. We don't need Bitcoin. Right, facts. We may not need it, but looks like MicroStrategy and Tesla do. Whatever that means. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Anytime somebody say something like that, just tell them like, hey, okay, we might not need it. I mean, I guess we don't need it because what are we going to do with it? We don't have wealth like the MicroStrategy or Tesla. but we could start developing it. What is our research and development department looking like? You know what I'm saying? You know, when it comes to those think tanks are like social engineering, research and development. And that's how they research and develop stuff based on the think tanks. This is how we've come up with things to socially engineer. And as much as I ask about think tanks, and as often as I ask about think tanks and what are the think tank ideas, there's no think tank to mitigate a wealth strategy for us. Why is that? See, like all of these things that are necessary that don't exist, we have to ask the question, all of these people that are trying to be front people or claim that they're front people, why haven't they done that? You know what I'm saying? Those are all the questions that we got to ask. People don't like asking, people don't like people to ask questions. So now here it says using a 25x multiplier, given our estimations from MicroStrategy and Tesla, this would equate to a $25 trillion increase in market value or $1.3 million per Bitcoin. There you have it. I know this type of extrapolation is grandiose and extremely crude, but it doesn't make the information any less dramatic. Bitcoin price is a landmine. A $3.5 billion purchase triggered an explosion of $30 million. So now all you got to do is just use this as a proportion, right? 3.5 billion over 30,000 and then put equals 10 billion, right? Over X and then solve it for X. That's all you got to do. You know what I'm saying? So we could actually figure that out. Bitcoin's price is a landmine. A $3.5 billion purchase triggered an explosion of $30,000. So 3.5 going in created an increase of 30,000. Let's just say that's what we're looking at right now. And this would be a static ratio, right? So 3.5 billion over 30 should be equal to 10 billion over X. And then solve it for X. So whatever we solve for X based on this model, that would be the increase that would occur with a $10 billion purchase. Now, here it says, imagine the chain reaction from a $100 billion purchase by the Bank of Japan in a new quantitative easing program. Then finally, imagine the world coming into Bitcoin in a wave of FOMO the financial world has never seen before. A Bitcoin total market value above 20 trillion, equating to a price of above 1 million per Bitcoin, no longer seems extreme. It seems mild. And the thing is that there's nothing in any of these scenarios that he just listed that's far-fetched. Let me ask you guys this. Out of all of those scenarios that were just listed, which of those scenarios was far-fetched or impossible or just you can't see any of that occurring? None of them were far-fetched. All of those scenarios are very believable scenarios. Which of those scenarios are scenarios that you just can't see happening at all? Bitcoin's price ascent will surprise most people who haven't fully grasped the supply inelasticity of Bitcoin. Now, what does that mean when they say supply inelasticity? See, this is important. This is important to understanding how this works. Right, exactly, and I agree, Phil, and that's why I said those ratios would be static. You know what I'm saying? Because all of those elements that you're talking about right there, those would have to be factored in too. My model, for the most part, it was just linear. You know what I'm saying? But you're absolutely right. Those factors would absolutely have to be factored in. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin's price ascent will surprise most people who haven't fully grasped the inelasticity of Bitcoin. And the inelasticity of Bitcoin is one of the things that makes Bitcoin's price skyrocket so quickly. What do they mean when they say price inelasticity? Explain that to me. Somebody let me know in the comments what that means. What do they mean when they say price inelasticity? No increase in price can lead to a supply response because Bitcoin's supply is pre-programmed and universally agreed upon. That means that there can never be an increase in Bitcoin supply. It's fixed forever until the end of the world. There will always only be $21 million or 21 million Bitcoin. That's one of the reasons why the price jumps so high, because when a small amount is and the thing is that this $21 million in Bitcoin, or the 21 million Bitcoin, that doesn't even account for some of the Bitcoin that have been lost on the blockchain, some Bitcoin that are inaccessible. So as far as actual accessible Bitcoin, all the Bitcoin haven't even been mined yet. So half of them, most of them aren't even accessible. You know what I'm saying? Governments, banks, and companies can issue as many crypto competitors as they desire, but the Bitcoin land grab is gaining the characteristics of demand for prime real estate in the world's most beautiful buildings and scenic coastlines, for the rarest arts and jewels, and for the precious metal itself. Its demand as an inflation hedge in Latin America, a path to economic empowerment in Africa. You see, a path to economic empowerment in Africa, and as a peaceful protest of QE infinity in the West. It has its own instant settlement mechanism in the Lightning Network. Most important, Bitcoin is decentralized. There is nobody to subpoena or central server to seize if governments try to bring the network to a halt. Okay. Now, let me ask you guys this question. What is the significance of all of that? Now, this is what I just said at the beginning of this live stream right here. People often think they're too late to buy Bitcoin because it's already at a price of 50,000. They just haven't run the latest numbers. shout out to Lloyd Scott 9. Lloyd Scott 9 said, remember the videos of European dudes in landfills hiring teams to look for hard drives, right? And then even once they find a hard drive, it's still not the end of they're still not out of the woods yet. Because then they got to guess the wallet, the wallet private key. You know what I'm saying? And they're not gonna guess that wallet private key, and it's over. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So now let me ask you guys this: how many people are convinced that, for one, Bitcoin in the near future could reach $150,000, and that there is a plausible case for $1 million Bitcoin? There's nothing that we read today that seems out of the realms of possible. Everything that we read today seems extremely plausible, extremely possible. You know what I'm saying? Extremely plausible and extremely possible. I believe that these things could occur. I believe that there are people out there right now that said that Bitcoin would never be over $1,000, and now it's 70 times over that. And shout out to my man Win Loser Rug. See, Win Loser Rug said, I agree. Right when you think it's too good, I said it was too late at 9K. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Facts. I gotta agree. So real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna shout out everybody that contributed to the stream. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to my man DSB for 13 months of membership support. Make sure y'all show him some love. Throw some flames, radiation emoji in the chat. Shout out to AB Promotion with the 5 months of membership support. Shout out to DSB again with the $1.99 super chat. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen for the 11 months of membership support. Appreciate you, Brooklyn Queen. Shout out to DSB again with the $3 super sticker. Make sure y'all show DSB some love. Shout out to my man Lloyd Sky 9 with the 13 months of membership support. I definitely appreciate it, bro. Shout out to Lloyd Sky 9 with the $5 super chat. I appreciate it, bro. Shout out to Win Loser Rug with the $9 super chat. Definitely appreciate it, bro. Shout out to Phil Mayo with the $10 super chat. I appreciate you, bro. And shout out to Lloyd Sky 9 again with the $5 super chat. All right, make sure y'all throw some flames, radiation emoji in the chat for the stream sponsors. I appreciate y'all. We will be back with some more content tomorrow. Probably tomorrow gonna be a lot, so you know what I'm saying. Make sure y'all get caught up. Make sure y'all got the bell notifications on. Make sure that you hit up at Base Reality 2 on Twitter. And also make sure that you guys hit that Discord link. It's extremely important. Hit that Discord link that's in the comment section. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,